Hello there, and welcome to the Canyons Are Calling podcast. I'm Charles Jocelyn, your host for the show. So, first of all, I want to apologize for taking such a long pause. June was a really hard month for me. I lost two people that were close to me, a friend of mine in a canyon, and then my nephew suddenly was taken. Both of them were very unexpected and very tragic, and kind of hard for me to um, put into words. So I just had to take a break for a minute and put the podcast aside. I'm started interviewing again and using my new equipment, and I love it. Things are going well, and I've got a lot of exciting news for you guys. So I hope you bear with me. I hope I didn't lose a lot of listeners in the month that I took off. I hope that you understand. Um, I just want to touch base on a couple of things. First of all, the first friend that I lost the beginning of June was in a canyon, and she was a very experienced canyoneer. She was a guide and just like outdoor adventure lover. Um, and when I heard about her passing, it didn't make sense to me, and I was really, really angry. It took me a while to process what happened and why it happened and why we as people are so impatient and why shouldn't it wait for somebody to come and help her unstick her rope when she knew that there were people behind her. I mean, we all know we should all know how to ascend a rope if it does get stuck, but when you're soloing a canyon and you're taking that risk, even when you're not soloing a canyon, even when you're with people, ascending a stuck rope is very risky. And we as people just sometimes are very impatient and don't wait. And now she's gone. And so I hope to do an episode about her, about Cassie in the future. So I'm not going to get too into it now. But Cassie loved adventure and, was always living outside. My nephew, on the other hand, was confined to a wheelchair. His disability made it so he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk, and he couldn't even eat without a feeding tube. Although his quality of life was way different than most people's, you knew that Tyler's spirit was there when you walked in the room and said hi to him, and his smile went ear to ear. And sometimes he would laugh at you. That was just like music to your ears. His spirit was so strong. And he was also able to go to Zion and go to the Grand Canyon and experience it in a different way than us canyoneers get to. But when he was in the mountains and when he was in the outdoors, he thrived. And it got me thinking, like, why do we go to these places? Why do we take the risks that we do? When the canyons call us, why do we answer? And so I asked this question on my Facebook group page, and I got a couple really cool answers. Some people like the adventure. They like pushing their limits. They like the camaraderie. Some people like the outdoors just because screens suck and they're inside all day working and they'd rather be outside. So when they get to, they go there. I feel for that. I go outside as much as I can too. The reward of going somewhere beautiful and unique, somewhere not just anyone can go. I work for Zion National Park and I cherish every moment that I can get away from the masses. Steve Buttram, I envy you. Your office has got to be very beautiful, but I'm also feel bad for you because Zion is so inundated with tourists these days. I really hope you're one of those backcountry rangers that gets to get out and escape it. Taylor Cheney also loves the outdoors. It makes her feel at peace and it's her happy place. That's why she works for state parks. She gets paid to do what she loves. That is so awesome. I also feel at peace in my happy place in the outdoors. I can tell when I've spent too much time, like, not outside, when I just get super stressed out about little things. I'm like, I just need to go for a hike for a few hours and just get away from all of this. It'd be awesome to work for a state park where you just get to explore and enjoy it. Jody says she loves the peace, tranquility, pushing herself outside of her comfort zone, and being part of a community. I can completely relate to this one. The canyoneering community is so amazing. The camaraderie you have between a group of people when you go through a canyon is just amazing. It's like anything, unlike anything I can explain. Like if you go hiking for a day, you talk about things and you get some clarity. But when you're canyoneering and you push your limits, there's a bond with those people that you just don't get with, regular hiking friends. I think most of the canyoneering people will agree with me here. Amy also says it's the people she meets. She gets to go to the places that she gets to see and the empowerment and challenge. Beauty, fitness, and problem solving from Jude. So Garth says the people, knowledge, and trust. Learning and always being on. Closing thought. I've hiked for 20 years and nothing has really changed. Canyoneering techniques are changing quickly. New ropes, devices, and techniques. There's so many ways to learn. I want to touch on this one a little bit. I know what you mean when you're saying you always have to be on. When you're canyoneering, you always have to be focused. You have to be focused not only on you, but Mother Nature and your crew, right? And with all these new ropes and devices and techniques that are changing, it does pose a challenge. I've been with people that use different devices than I use, and they ask me advice on how to use them. And it kind of becomes a problem. If I don't know how to use the device that a newbie brings to the table, then how am I supposed to teach them to correctly get through the canyon? Right. So, if you are a newbie and you're coming to the situation, you need to know the devices that you have and how they work for you. There are so many devices out there for rappelling, the critter, the squirrel, the piranha, the ATC, the ATS, the figure eight. Each of them work, they work in their own way. And you just need to know what device works well for you. If you have a backup device that works for you, know how to use it, know how to lock off when you're on rappel, all those kind of things. I was testing out a new rappel device a while ago, and I was on a long rappel, and I hadn't practiced locking off and using the device. And once I got going too fast, I wasn't able to, and I kind of fell the last part of the rappel. So, practice with your devices in a controlled environment before you get out in the field, and make sure you know how to use the devices and the techniques that you want to use. Whether it's a muncher mule, have that down. If it's a figure eight contingency, if you're blocking with um, a clove hitch, a triple clove hitch, know the techniques, have them down, practice them outside of the field, take classes. I can't, emphasize enough, like safety is key, and always being on when you're in these places is awesome, ideal. So thank you, Garth, for throwing that out there. Um, yeah, I really like that one. Linda's addicted. I'm addicted too. I like to tell people all the time, if you get fully addicted to canyoneering, you can't really afford a drug habit, so that makes life awesome. As being someone who had been there 20 years ago. Um, Becky loves the solitude and making memories with friends. And I have so many memories with Becky in the solitude that we enjoy. I really like that she threw that out there. Tammy, you just got to know what's around the next bend, what's over the next ledge, what's below the next drop, what's next and next and next. And that's exactly how I am. That's what got me addicted when I went through Spry Canyon like 10 years ago. My friend had been teaching me how to climb. And, you get the same view over and over and over throughout the few hours or half day that you're climbing. And it was fun for me, but it wasn't awesome. And then he brought me through Spry Canyon, and around every corner, it was different. And around every drop, the canyon changed. And I was in so much awe that I had to see what's next. I had to see what the next canyon had to offer. So I am 100% with you on that one, Tammy. And Parth says, the canyons don't call me. I go seeking them, and then they try to keep me. Hopefully, they're trying to keep you in a good way by returning to different places and seeing more things, Parth. I agree with that one also. um, anyway, so this is just a short little episode to let you guys know what's going on with me here at the Canyons Are Calling. I have a couple of other exciting things. I have a website in the works. So I'm still working on making some links and getting some other details, but thecanyonsarecalling.com should be fully active by the end of July. So shout out to Tyler Greaves for sending me some Misfit mushrooms. He sent me some lion's mane and some blue oyster mushrooms so that I can grow at home. They're so easy. The kit comes with everything you need. You just slice a little hole in the plastic, mist it a few times a week, and in about I think it took about 2 weeks, my mushrooms are pretty close. You get mushrooms grown right at your house. They are so fun. So I had used a different one before, and Tyler had seen that I like mushrooms, so he sent me some, and I am super excited to see how they work out. So if you're looking to grow mushrooms in your home, check out Misfit Mushrooms. Um, Also, if you'd like to follow along with us on Facebook, I have a Facebook group page, The Canyons Are Calling Podcast. I'm also kind of active on Instagram at The Canyons Are Calling. You can also email me if you have any ideas for a guest for the show at thecanyonsarecalling@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me at work. I manage Imlay Canyon Gear, and the website is Canyoneering USA. There you can check out all of our canyoneering gear. Sorry, we do not have backpacks right now. We're looking for new manufacturers on those, but we do have a few Seco rope bags. So we're getting the other styles of regular rope bags in stock, critters, ropes, all sorts of technical canyoneering gear there. So check that out. You can also read more about canyoneering and also Tom's latest raves on there, or just shout out to me there at work. Give me something to do. Um, anyway, gonna keep this one short. I do have an exciting episode coming up this week, which will be with friend Hill Belfie from Atlanta, Georgia, letting us know about a sport they have out there called cascading, which is super exciting to hear about. So that episode will be up next week. Anyway, the canyons are calling. I gotta go.